KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
In mono. Wahoo!
It just isn't the same.
Is that the newest, latest, and greatest? Huh?
It isn't right there. You know, well, Joe's usually here. We're able to do the call out together, but, you know, he is having a good time partying with his family, which is the right thing he needs to be doing.
No.
Awesome.
Yes. He took the Rat Pack jet.
Yes,
to
he
Vegas.
did. Yes, that is correct.
He did promise to return it for next week, so he should be back next week. But you never know with Joe.
You never know with Joe. You know, he's got all those new digs, some new shoes. Papa got a brand new pair. So
Lucho took good care of him.
That is correct. He got well taken care of right there. So he's probably out there enjoying it.
I bet you our shirt's in the mail.
That is correct.
I have my shoes. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that.
You got your shoes on. Look at this. We have Nicole with her Lucho shoes on. Actually.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. So and in we have a returning guest.
That is correct.
A two-timer.
We have a two-timer. That is correct. You know, anytime you're a one-timer, it's fine. But in your case, you're officially a two-timer today.
I guess I'm now a veteran.
You're a veteran now. That is correct.
You're seasoned.
And in the house is Nicole Lopez with the Doug Erdy Group out of Kingwood. And I understand you are transitioning over to the Woodlands office.
I am. As of next week, I'll be moving over to our Market Street location. So I'm very, very excited about that. Ready to pick up some traffic over there in the Woodlands.
Well, real quickly, what's going on over the Woodlands?
There's a lot going on in the Woodlands. There's a lot of new development. I'm really excited about the new communities that are going to be opening up around the ExxonMobil campus. A lot of those are starting to gain some footing. Very high traffic sales. I've sold a couple in Bender's Landing estates, so very excited for that.
Well, you know, one of the things also, you know, even if you look at, so we were talking about this, I think, at one of the parties, you look at it, used to be, you know, living out in Conroe, they have to come away on into Houston to get. Now, if you're living in Conroe, you know, you're 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away from your job now. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're working at that little mini energy area where ExxonMobil is creating.
Right, Anadarko and all those different companies that have moved into the area. It's definitely a great opportunity for expansion.
The new energy corridor.
Yeah,
the new
absolutely.
energy corridor,
Yes.
that is
Well, you
correct.
think about it, the Woodlands has great access to Lake Conroe, but it also has great access to the airport. I mean,
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Other than having to go downtown, it's everything you need is right there.
Well, in Houston, we're actually going to have, you know, you've got the main energy corridor, which is never going to go away. You've got the new North Campus, if you look at it this way, in the Woodlands. And then you have something coming along in the future, not too far away from Nicole, where she is right now, which is Generation Park.
Yeah.
That is
And that's going to be
correct.
another very big oil services area in which you're going to have FMC Technologies and some of the other ones that are moving into that Humble, Atascocita, Kingwood area. And that's going to be another major area.
It's going to be huge. I mean, right now we have over 4,000 home sites slated for construction within the next several years up and down Westlake Houston Parkway in Atascocita. So it's definitely going to be a big area as well.
That's awesome.
Well, you know,
That's
59. You know, enjoy how 59 is now because you could add 4,000 families on there.
Yeah. It used to be the best kept secret.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll be.
secret.
I don't know if it's a secret anymore.
Yeah, it was like 288 going down to Pearland. Used to be the best kept secret. They even had an article in the Chronicle about it. It's the most underused highway at that time. And now everyone discovered that Pearland was a great access to the medical center. And of course, you know, 288 in the morning and the afternoon is
it's done.
Gridlock.
You pretty much can't drive anywhere. You know, one of the things, Nicole, we want to talk to you about today is obviously with all the changes that are going on, with all you mentioned 4,000 new homes in that single area. You know, talk a little bit. You know, I want to ask you some questions about how to effectively work with new builders. I mean, one of the things that you do a lot of is you sell a lot of new home construction. And, you know, it's a little bit different than having to go out there and deal with a resale. You know, nothing wrong with either which one. But, you know, how do you approach that? I mean, why have you been so successful, number one, in that market?
Well, prior to obtaining my real estate license, I did work for several years in the new home construction industry. I worked for a couple of local production builders. So I've been and seen both sides of that desk. so to say. So I know kind of what the goal is for the new home construction salesperson, and I know what my goal is as far as satisfying my clients' needs in a home. So, and building relationships with those new home sales agents, I work very closely with a lot of them to make sure that cohesively as a team, we can achieve what the client needs. So that's helped me a lot. And then having a fairly decent background in construction knowledge has been beneficial as well.
And, I'd imagine that's something very important because you sort of have to set those expectations, right? When you're building a home, especially when a builder is building a home, there's some areas of that construction process they can't control. They can't control certain materials arriving at a certain time or electricity services being put on at a certain time. I mean, they try to, but, that's part of that expectations of that you have to set at the front is saying building a home can be something absolutely incredible and beautiful, but here are some of the steps along the way, and you have to be able to adjust to that.
Absolutely. I mean, having a home built is truly one of the last things in our industry, or actually that we have built, that you get to see from beginning to end. You can pick a car off of a car lot, but you never actually see the entire production of how that car was built. Having a home built, you get to see all of that. And right now, especially in our market, permit times are lagging. So setting the expectation with the client that, yes, the builder may say 4 to 6 months, but in reality, it's really going to take 7 to 9 months to have that home complete. And just lay the ground for that really, really helps.
I can imagine,
Chris, I have to interrupt you for a moment here.
Really?
We have a
Rob,
guest
you're not
host.
allowed to do that, are you?
I am allowed to do that.
Yes.
I am the godfather of real estate. We failed to mention we have a guest host.
That is correct.
today.
We have
Yes.
Natasha Livingston.
She's been very quiet over
That is
here.
correct. She is. Normally she'll jump right in
And
immediately.
I thought,
I was
maybe
just
she didn't get the
waiting.
introduction, so therefore she didn't feel like she was entitled to jump in. But
That's right.
we're so happy that you were able to
Thank
make it
you,
today
guys.
on very short notice. And because
Yes.
when Joe checked the jet out, it was like 1 day notice. So
I know. It was like he took the jet, he left.
does
I
that?
mean, we had to fill it up with fuel at the last moment. It was crazy.
well, I'd much prefer to have Natasha here anyway.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while, so I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure, and I will tell you, it's a definite upgrade, visually speaking, from Joe.
Sorry, Joe. They do love you. We do love you, and we miss you, as you can tell.
That is true. That is
She's
true.
definitely easier on the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I would have rather been on the jet, though, Joe.
Don't spend too much money out there in Vegas.
I know.
In the production we talk about, you get to see it from beginning to end. And I actually always ask people, are you having your clients get those homes inspected in phases as they go up?
Oh, absolutely. That's vital. And a lot of clients don't understand. They think it's new, and they think that because there are county inspections or city inspections that is going to be adequate, but in reality it's not. I mean, I've seen some horror stories of some properties that are only a couple years old, maybe a couple months old, that's coming up on resale, and the inspection reports when they go to sell them are horrendous. So yes, absolutely, you need to have an inspection done at pre-pour. You need to have one done at pre-installation to have all of your plumbing and electrical checked out, and also your framing checked out. And then you also need to have a final inspection, and that's really to check all of the major mechanicals, your HVAC, and really just everything in the house. Now, most builders are going to offer you a 1-year cosmetic. So whether you do that final inspection at or before close or before your 1-year warranty is entirely up to the client. But I like to have all 3 of those done before closing just to ensure that it's good.
And like I tell everybody all the time is, there's a big difference between an inspection, okay, and what the builder has to have done to continue to their next phase, right? Exactly. Because a lot of times what they're doing to continue to the next phase is the city's coming out and saying, okay, it meets code.
Correct.
Right? But there's a big difference in the building process.
Right, because code doesn't necessarily check for craftsmanship.
Right.
And that's going to be a big thing.
And A.B. Bowles, who is one of our sponsors, he always brings me these anecdotal stories about pre-pour stuff that they were about to pour, and then he started describing the things that they did wrong. Most of the slabs out there are what they call post-tension slabs.
Yes.
And what they do is they have cables, and after they pour, they put tension on the slabs. It gives it some tensile strength. And what they were doing on this one thing, that had a cable that was going to wrap around a piece of plumbing, and had they put the tension on that, it would have crushed that pipe. And plus, he said they weren't following on the grade beams, they weren't following the engineer drawings. He said, well, we all do it this way, but the engineer drawings called for something different.
Right.
So, just because they've been doing this a long time doesn't mean they've been doing it right for a long time. And I'm not throwing any of the builders under the bus because there's some great builders out there. But it is in your best interest because after you pour that slab, you're not going to go back and correct that problem.
Right. And you also have to think about the number of homes going up in our area right now and the number of production managers that are out there. They cannot have eyes on everything 24/7. Right. So protecting your investment, getting an inspection is it's really mandatory. Yeah, it's huge.
Especially now. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chris, but it's important that I'm glad Nicole brought that point out for the listeners because a lot of times I was an agent as well. They don't understand that process and how important. And when we look at everything that's going on in the Woodlands right now, everything is moving so fast and furious. As you said, the builders can't keep their eyes on everything. So it's important if you have an agent or if anyone is looking for a new home, working with the agent, or if they want to work with Nicole even,
especially if they want to work with Nicole.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Make sure that you're asking those questions and that you're adamant about making sure you get an inspection. A lot of times they don't understand because as Rob just said, you can't go back and unpour a slab once things are done. And things do happen.
They do. And your home is likely your most valuable investment.
Absolutely.
So taking the steps to protect and ensure that investment is huge.
Yeah, very good
advice.
advice.
I would thoroughly agree. I tell everybody is my most valuable investment I have is my wife and kids, and then my second most valuable investment I have is my home.
Where they reside. Of course.
That is correct. That is correct. So when people are out there then right now and they are looking at new homes, and as you mentioned, one of the things that's happened here over the past couple of years is we had a little bit of an inventory decline in new homes because there weren't enough lots, not enough subdivisions out there. How do you convince, or what's the conversation you have with somebody on buying a pre-owned home versus a brand new home, a new construction?
I mean, ultimately, it's up to what they want. I don't want to steer them either way, new or resale, but you have to really give the value to each. I mean, in a resale home, you're going to have maybe established value within a neighborhood, but in a new construction home, you can have all of the amenities that you're looking for, interior of your home, and you can design it the way you want to. You can do the floor plan the way you want to. So it's really up to the client, but there are a lot of benefits. You have the energy efficiency. You have the new modern floor plans. So staying knowledgeable about what communities are available within your area as a realtor, and also the sales counselors, making sure you have good working relationships with them is really going to be beneficial to your client moving forward with a new construction property.
And hold on, Rob, she said something really important right there. I always see, you mentioned the sales counselors. One of the things you do a great job at, I always see you out visiting the sales counselors. You know a lot of them because it's that pride you take in your work to get out there and to make sure you know what's going on and who they are and where they're building and what the floor plans look like.
Right. I want to be my client's trusted advisor. I want to know everything about what it is that they need. And if I don't know, I can find out. So, making sure I have very good working relationships with them, staying knowledgeable on their product and who they are is key.
Rob, now you can go.
Why, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Go, Rob, go.
For all those listening, Rob's sitting over there like, give me a break. Let me get in here.
Well, I've got this great question now, but we're coming up against the break. But might be thinking about it on the break. Because what happens is that somebody will walk into a sales counselor office and they'll kind of mitigate the realtor's position. And so I want you to address, when we come back, talk about why it's important to use a professional to represent a buyer in a new home sale environment, because it is very different. And there's actually some sales counselor out there going, I can handle all this for you. And we'll take care of your realtor, but, we want to deal with you directly. We don't want the realtor really that involved. And some of them don't like inspections.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Right.
And so you kind of have to have that relationship with the builder so they understand that you're there to make sure that you protect your client's interest, but at the same time you want to make sure that the transaction comes to fruition in the end.
I would agree. Well, we're coming up against a break
that.
right now, so we're going to let her answer that question when she gets back. If you have a question you want to call and ask any of our wonderful guests, it's 800-808-5548. We're going to take a break right now, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I won't dance. Don't ask me. I won't dance. Don't ask me. I won't dance. Madame, with you, my heart won't let my feet do things that they should do. You know what?